Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial. I'm Yinky and today I'll be showing you how to make a beaded cowl neck top with twisted wrapper style. So this type of tutorial you need 3 yards. You need 1.5 yards for the top and also 1.5 yards for the wrapper. So it depends on how big or how, because the length of this type of material is by 60, not by 45, so 3 yards will be okay. And after that, you need a lightweight material like a chiffon. A silk chiffon is the one that I use for this tutorial. So you can also use a Duchess material, but make sure it is lightweight. And after that, I beaded the back. You can see, and I'll be showing you how I did this beading in this tutorial. So let's get started. So the first thing you need is to get your basic bodice, and that is the back block. So I'll need the back block to first of all draft the back. So as you can see from the picture, you can notice that the back has a V-neck. So but here my pattern does not have a V-neck, but by the time I finish this tutorial, I'm going to input that V-neck. So all you need to do is to add sewing allowance of 2 inches to your back bodice, and that is what I'm doing right away. I'm going to add 2 inches. You can see the way I folded into 2 while cutting the back. So since there is no zipper allowance, you are going to cut on fold. Then after that, I'm going to add if there is a sewing allowance on the shoulder also I added, and also on the armhole I added half-inch sewing allowance on the armhole. Then I'm going to cut out. So if you can draft your basic bodies neatly, you don't have any issues with this. So having done that, then the V neckline, I'm going to mark the V neckline to the upper chest, and my upper chest from the shoulder is 7.5 inches. So I'm going to mark it like so. Then I'll be able to trim it out on the fabric. I'll be able to trim it out on the fabric because I still want to use this pattern to draft the cowl neck top at the front. So the next thing to do is to cut the V-neck out. So I'll be trimming out the V-neck like so. Then after I have done that, the back is ready. Then the next thing to do is to cut the facing for the neckline and to turn with the facing. So after that, the front. So on the front, you're going to slit on the upper chest. So I'll go ahead now and slash this block on the upper chest. So I'm not drafting any pattern for the front. I'm still using the back for the front and cowl neck top. So after I have slitted it, make sure you do not slit it through. So I'll just raise it up, I'll slash it, and I'll spread it like so. So this is just like a kind of slash and spread method. So after I have done that, you spread it as much as you can. So then you're going to mark a straight line from the neck, this is the shoulder. I'm trying to mark the shoulder with my chalk. Then from the shoulder, I'll add 2 inches sewing allowance to the side like so. I'll add 2 inches sewing allowance to the side like so. After I have added 2 inches sewing allowance to the side, I'll also go ahead and do likewise to the armhole. Then on the armhole side, I'll also do likewise, curve inward on the armhole side. So after I have done that, I'm trying to trace with my chalk to know this. Then I'll just draw a straight line to the center front like so. And when I get to the center front, I'll also raise it up by 3 inches more. So this is the shape that I got after doing that. Then I'm going to cut out. I'm going to cut out like so, tracing my chalk the way I just trace it out. Then at this upper part, you can see that I raise it up by 3 inches. I'll go ahead and do that likewise. So after I have done that, this is the shape that my cowl neck top will form. So that means from the upper part to the neckline, I raise it up by 7 inches. So if it is more than that, it will not be fine. It will look funny. So in order for the cowl to not to look funny and to be moderate, that 7 inches is okay. So this is the back neckline. You're going to measure the back neckline because of there is a collar. If you look at the picture, there is a collar. So I'm going to measure the back neckline. The collar is 4 inches on fold. Then I added 2 inches allowance for the front because the collar will go to the front by 2 inches. making 6 inches for the collar length. You can cut it on a straight length. Just fold your fabric into 2 like this and cut it. So on fold, I will be marking 6.5 inches with the sewing allowance. So the 2 inches extra is for the front because the collar will drop to the front by 2 inches. So then the width of the collar is 2 inches also, because at the end of the day, when I stitch finish, it will be 1 inch a collar width. So the sewing allowance is 1 inch also. So after I have done that, this is what I have for my collar. I can go ahead and cut 2 pieces of this and turn it so that I'll be able to have something to use for the collar. But while turning it, I will leave the one that will, the sewing allowance of the one that will stretch to the front. So this is my sleeve. This is the sleeve. The sleeve can be as wide as 15 inches on fold. Depends on how wide you want it, because it's like a funnel sleeve. So after I have done that, the next thing to do is to go ahead and join the shoulder to shoulder. I have turned with my facing. I have turned the front and the back with facing. So the facing, then the next thing to do is to turn the front neckline. The cowl front neckline is turned with a bias. Just turn that one with a bias, or you can even use your weaving machine to weave that part, to weave the neckline. So after I have done that, I will I'm joining the shoulder to shoulder here. So after I have joined the shoulder to shoulder, I left the sewing allowance of 2 inches where at the front, where I will attach the collar. So I'm going to attach the collar on that 2 inches. I'll be attaching the collar. I will attach to the front, to the extension of the front neckline immediately from the shoulder. That's where I'm attaching it, to the front neckline. So what I did to one side, I will do to the other side, so that the collar is fixed already. So after I fix the collar, this is what I have. You can see that the collar is attached to the front. There is nothing at the back anymore, because we have cut a V-neck at the back. So the 2 inches at the front neckline will hold the collar. So after I have done that, the next thing is to fix my sleeve. So I'll just go ahead and fix the sleeve like so. Then when I'm done with fixing of the sleeve, then I'll immediately move to the beading. So this is the sleeve. This is the sleeve. You can see there's no pleat at all. It's very neat. It's very neat. So I'm done with that. Then this is the wrapper. I'm just fixing the rope that I'm going to use to tie the wrapper. So the rope is as long as 20 inches and the width is 2.5 inches. So we start the beading. So this is the thread I'm going to use for the beading. This thread is a common thread we use to bead, and I have a glass bead that I'm going to use, the smaller size of bead. Then this is the thread. This is the needle. The needle is also a beading needle. You can see the number is number 12. You can get this in the market. If you ask for beading thread, they will actually give you this type of bead. So then you're going to knot your thread. We call it fishing line. In Nigeria, we call it fishing line. But this is the kind of polythene thread that you can use that can be invisible when you're going to use it on your fabric. It's just like a nylon thread, but it's a little bit thicker than nylon thread. So after I have done that, I'll begin to pick all my bead with my needle. Then I'll pick my bead with my needle and begin to pass it in through until it is very long. You can see that the first thing you will do after passing your thread to your needle, make sure your thread is single, not doubled. Your thread must be a single thread, not a double thread like you want to tack. So you need to make it a single thread. So after I have done that, then I'm going to just put in the bead like so, passing the bead like so. So although it will be double from the beginning, but before it gets to the side that the bead will stay, it must be single thread. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain. So after I have done that, the next thing to do is to go ahead and pass it in. I've done one beading. I've done a single line of bead. So this is the second line. Then the second line will drop under the first line. So you must make sure that the second line is longer than the first line so that it will form the drape design. So it will form a kind of drape design. So immediately you notice that you are okay with the length, you can now go ahead and tack the thread. You can go ahead and tack the thread, but make sure you have checked very well before you start tacking. So after I am done with that, I can now go ahead and do the tacking. So after you have tacked, you tack like you are using your normal thread. So I'm done tacking this already, and I tack just as if I'm using my normal thread. So the next line, I'm going to mark 1 inch for the distance. Whatever inches you mark on one side, make sure it matches the other side, because if it does not matches, it will not look organized. So I need to make sure it is well organized. So I'll just mark 1 inch here, like 1 inch. That 1 inch will be like maybe in 4 places, because I don't want more than 5 or 6 lines of thread on this fabric. So I'll do the same thing, mark 1 inch distance, 1 inch distance. That's what I'm going to mark for each of the spacing. Then after I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and bead the way I beaded the first one. So I'll go ahead and pass my thread, and when you are knotting your thread, you can knot it like 3 or 4 times, because it's a kind of thread that can lose easily. So you need to knot it very well and be sure you have knotted it. So I'll go inward, passing my thread inward through the wrong side. So following the mark, I'll pass in my thread to the wrong side, then go ahead and fix everything that you're going to. So I'm going to check, I'm trying to check if it matches one another. So and this is the result after I've tacked the rest of the thread and the bead. This is the result. You can see how beautiful it is, and this is the material also. You can see the material is very, very beautiful on this type of style. So the front is just like you're going to twist it. I show you the video of how I wrap it and twist the front in the beginning of this video. You can watch that, rewatch that, and see how I did this. So this is the dress. Can I call it dress? So I can also call it an outfit on the mannequin. You can see how beautiful it is. Very, very beautiful. So I've come to the end of this tutorial, and I will see you in my next tutorial. Until then, bye.